Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, and welcome to another new episode of Tête-à-tête. We are back with episode 7. Now, the last episode we did, we talked about fat phobia and body image and making sure that you embrace who you are, your authenticity. I'm going to be transparent because I have not been live for the past few days this week. The last show that we did was on my birthday for Tete a Tete, and we didn't get a chance to finish part two with Johnny. But today we're gonna, I can't even get it out. I can't wait to see what we're gonna be dishing on with Manny today. But it's been kind of a slow week. So bear with me, you guys. We will have more interviews coming soon for Style by Stevie. So make sure you guys stay tuned and follow me here. I'm in IG jail. I can't comment. I was trying to comment to someone and I gotta wait till tomorrow to get out. But I do see you guys' comments. If you need me, DM me. Let me add my co-host.
What's up?
Hello.
What's up? Oh,
How are
I'm
you?
doing all right. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be back, you guys. Glad to be back. The last show we did was on my birthday, and we talked about fat phobia and body image and embracing your own body type and individuality. So it's Manny's day today. So before we get into our convo for today, Manny, how have you been?
I've been okay. Just trying to sit there and get some things worked on. I know I've been sitting here since I've been, working on some music. But I actually been working on this EP that I will be dropping in due time. Not sure exactly when. I don't want to put a time limit right now, but I do want to say it will be out before the end of the year. That's when I will have some
I
music.
can't wait to hear it.
Oh yeah. But I got you. And how you been? How you been doing?
Holding up. I know
Okay.
you guys seen the post, and thank you guys for the outpouring of love and your support. I will say this week for me has been the most challenging week. You guys
Mhm.
see the glitz, the glamour. You see, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. But
Oh yeah.
behind my smile is pain. I've been depressed for the past few weeks, lack of interviews, the writer strike, not being able to do what I love so passionately and then being told I can't. But I understand where the actors are coming from. So the lack of doing what I love has made me so depressed, where it's just like I want to give it all up. And to be honest, if it wasn't for my brother K Tukes and others reassuring me that you got this, God is going to uplift you and bring you up out of this, I feel a little bit
Mhm.
better today. So I would say a okay, not 10%, but 100% a little bit better than yesterday because I was
Cool,
going crazy.
cool.
So yes, for the past few weeks, I'm being transparent with you guys and letting you know that I've been depressed. I felt empty. I felt useless. Like,
Oh,
what am I even here for? What is my purpose? All of these things just came into play, but I feel a little bit better than yesterday, I must say.
that's good. That is good.
Yes.
All right. So, I do have some things that I've actually would like to bring up and talk about for today.
Okay.
Um, well, I would like to say this is Transgender Awareness Week.
Yes, it is.
So that is a thing for, I thought I was like, we definitely gotta, bring that up just to let people know
Let
the
them know.
awareness of it. You know, we're having a lot of events going on this week all across the United States. So please check into your LGBTQ center and try to figure out, where the locations are for these events. And also, the LGBTQ centers, we have to really advocate for them. They're
Yes.
trying to, I believe, take them away now, or have less resources for the LGBTQ community. So, if we can just stick together and make, something work, we cannot lose them type of resources when it comes to this community and for the, the people of all. It's just, that's just not something we need to be happening. So just to put that out there and to keep everybody aware of what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say for the first story, um, I was looking at for Thanksgiving, they're going to be having non-binary and transgender basically promote and advocate for the Thanksgiving parade. And I thought that was really, nice and something different that we have not experienced yet when it comes to a general parade, like a holiday or something to see, this type of promotion with that. I was just like, that's really nice. And that's really good. And to have, you as my host, I was just like, that would be a good conversation we could bring up with. So how do you feel about that? And what does this make you think about for the future coming when it comes to holidays?
I think that it breaks the ice because I know that Thanksgiving is not too far around the corner. And a lot of
Mhm.
people, LGBTQ people, we're going to be home for the holidays with our family members and loved ones. And we know that we're going to have discussions at the dinner table,
Yeah.
which can be challenging. And sometimes our sexuality or our gender will come into the conversation just randomly out of nowhere, which we all know some straight people, they go right into that instantly. But
Hmm.
your family, it should be completely different. You should go home and feel welcome. But I'm glad that they are now being inclusive and letting people know that, hey, they're people too. They're people just like any of us. And
Hmm.
we include them as well too. But we know the deeper meaning of Thanksgiving, Christopher Columbus. We ain't gonna,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But it's about liberation for me. It's
Hmm.
about letting people know it's okay to be your authentic self. It's okay to show up as who you are. And we still welcome you. The sad part
Hmm.
about it is that there is LGBT people who do not have families to go home to. And
Exactly.
that's where you go into the ballroom scene. You see, I was about to say Bubs the God. Bugs Gutta has something coming up called Transgiving. And what I love
Hmm.
is that they're being inclusive for all LGBT people who do not have a home, who are less fortunate, letting them know that, hey, we are family too. We all are
Hmm.
going to be here to support one another. And that's what it should be. So I'm here for it.
Oh, nice, nice. I like that. I like that. I really think to have this into Thanksgiving parade. Even one of the women that's a part of this, she was saying it's going to be extravaganza because she's saying like literally we're going to show people that this is something that you may have never thought or seen before to be a part of a
Yeah,
parade, but this is going to be showing you that it's not as bad as a lot of people may think. And this should be a really moment in time for us to be thankful that we even, here, and we're thankful that we even get a chance to, sit there and sit at a table with a different ethnic group or a different color person without
right.
sitting there feeling any type of hate or any type of, animosity or guilt because of X, Y, Z. So, I think that was a really nice thing to see, turning point for our future. So yeah. And then I would say for the story that you told me about, we could bring that up as well.
You want me to go? Because you know I'm about to go in. So y'all better get y'all
Go
popcorn,
ahead.
drinks for the viewers at home. Y'all already know. So Manny, I think you
Hmm.
better go first.
Let me go. I got you. Look, no, I got you. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm ready when you are.
Over the weekend, I don't know if you guys seen the story, but Tamar Braxton had a concert and she brought out her sister Tony. I was happy to see Krishan Rock was at the concert and James Bright Chanel. We know James is one of Tamar's background singers. So Krishan Rock thought it would be okay to put her hands on James Bright Chanel. For what reason, I don't know. But let me talk about this.
Hmm.
As as a trans black woman, um, T.S. Madison said it best. These hands are for everybody. I don't fight, but Maddie does. And I'm going to say this, I will defend myself at the end of the day. You have no right to put your hands on nobody if they haven't touched
Hmm.
you. James Rice Chanel is one of the least problematic LGBT people that I know of. He went viral when he did the video for the patty pies. So why is it okay for a woman to put her hands on a man, knowing that the man can't hit back, especially a black man in the LGBTQ community
Mm-hmm.
that is causing you no problems? When gay black men are mainly the ones out here standing up and rooting for your asses.
Mm.
Because we know these quote unquote kings won't do the same for you. Like a Charleston White, like a Dr. Umar Johnson, like what's his name? I can't even remember his name, but I know he's one of them too. Young Pharaoh. These
Mm.
Negroes will not do the same for you. It's openly gay black men who are out here defending us. And I want y'all, that some of y'all gay black men, to have the same energy for us as trans black women too, because we are out here
Mm-hmm.
putting ourselves on the front line for y'all's asses also too. It is not okay for a woman to put her hands on a man. I was disgusted. I did not watch the video, but Madison, T.S. Madison, talked about it on her platform. And she's
Yeah.
basically saying the same thing that I'm saying, which is it is never okay. If he would have put his hands on her, it would have been, oh, cancel James Rice Chanel. LGBT people are doing your makeup. We're doing your hair. And another thing, Tamar has been direly homophobic. And I know some of y'all gays are Tamartians out here. I used to be
Mm.
a Tamartian too. I'm guilty of it. But I've noticed that it's a pattern with her and K Michelle. People like her and K Michelle. Whenever something goes wrong, oh, you my man not sleeping with me. He must be gay. It's the dire homophobia for me. And it's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting because you regurgitate some of the same talking points that some of these cishet Negroes out here talk about as well too. Like a Dr. Umar Johnson. You see his ass on the Breakfast Club.
Mm.
I want y'all to keep that same energy the same, because LGBT people, we are standing up and fighting for black people as well too. We are at the front lines for everybody black. And it's mainly queer black men who are out here fighting for black women.
Mm.
I was beyond disgusted. And then Christian Rock, a few days later, we just talked about this on episode 5, where she said, I had to be tough because I don't want my son growing up. Let your child grow up however they need to grow up. Let them be their own individual selves and stop trying to force them to be straight,
Mm-hmm.
especially if that's not what they want to do. And another thing y'all do is y'all go and y'all feel as it's a gay agenda. It's not a gay agenda. If I had magic powers in my body where I could magically go and touch every man on earth to make them trans attracted to me, I would. But I don't have that kind of power. LGBT people, we don't have that kind of power. Where we can just touch
Mm.
someone, oh, you're gay. People automatically know that something is different to them. For me, it was age 13 years old. And I say that all the time. Never changed.
Mm.
But this right here, it is not okay. It is not okay. Because see, if he would have drew back, then it would have been a man hitting a woman. I can see the story headlines now. But he put out a very eloquent response, James Wright Chanel. Put out a very eloquent response to the situation. But Krishan dead out of line. I'm not one of these Zeus Network Vigo type girls. No, I'm not going to put my hands on you. I'm going to get you differently. I'm
Mm.
going to get you in your wallet. So I pray to God that James takes legal action the right way, because you're out of line for that, sis. No, it is never okay. I'm always rooting and speaking up for us as black women, saying protect us. But
Mm.
these men don't be the ones that are not causing us harm, that are out here protecting us. They need protection too.
Yeah.
Manny, your thoughts?
Um, I would just say definitely for at this point, for Krishan, she just needs to like sit down somewhere of article or newspaper or anything for her to just be in the news for people to be like, oh, that, look at Krishan, here she go. But it's like with this, it's like her doing that is just taking us to a whole different atmosphere of a level when it comes to, the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
We as a whole, we see this. We watch her. She's at this point a household name. So it's like, um, she's getting too much credit for the credit that's not due for her. And she's over there just literally making herself look a fool when it comes to anything that she does at this point. Um, I would say for Tamar, I just know it's just these are the type of things that we're going to continue to go through as we enter into this 2024 new world, and we're going to just see more of this hatred and this anti this or anti that
Oh yeah.
come about, and it will start from situations like this. So I would just say, like, we just need to go back to, like I said earlier, be more aware and cautious of even the people we have around us, people who may seem like they're on our side, or it shouldn't be a side thing. You should just be there for us, period, because we are just as good as the next human being sitting next to me or across from me. So it shouldn't even matter on the sexuality part, but it's definitely becoming an issue. Um, I don't know. I just know I've been seeing just more and more things with her, and that's just getting really like out of control. Like something needs to be done with that or with her. Period. Just being in a news cycle like that. But yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Tony, Tawanda, Tracy, rest her soul,
Hmm.
Trina. They are very welcoming when it comes to us as LGBT people. They don't care. Now,
Yeah.
Tamar has been the one out of the bunch that has been direly homophobic. Like she laughs at homophobic jokes, and I don't
Hmm.
get how LGBT people could sit up here and take pictures with her. And taking a picture with her to me is like taking a picture with Adolf Hitler or Donald
Hmm.
Trump. That's
Yeah.
how deep that is. So how could you sit with someone who laughs at bigotry and homophobia, who laughs at the very essence of it? I don't get it. I couldn't do it. I take a picture with Tony. I love Tony Braxton. She's one of my favorite female vocalists, and I grew up
Hmm.
listening to her. Tamar, I used to love her music, listen to her music. I think she's talented, amazing, but it's the shenanigans that come behind it with her behavior.
Hmm.
Now, as far as Krishan goes, I completely had to mute notifications from YouTube to here on the gram with Krishan and Blueface. I got tired of seeing it mentally. It's toxic, but that's the culture now. Zeus
Yeah.
Network, that's what they put out there. That's what
Yeah.
now that's TV. That's no, that's the culture. But at the expense of your child, you're exporting this baby boy. I mean, and the thing is this: toxic parents produce toxic children. Toxic
Hmm.
children grow up to be abusive adults. So you see the cycle here, y'all. I hope y'all are paying attention and following. That cycle continues on. What children see growing up is what
Yeah.
they are going to become in the future. You heard that adage, you are a product of your environment. The way you grew up is how you're gonna grow up. So, hey, and that's the thing. We need to break that cycle of toxic masculinity and homophobia and transphobia and realize that God didn't put us all here to be the same. We are all our own individual beings.
Hmm.
And I need us as people of color, as Black people, to realize that not all of us are the same. We're not a monolith. And I know you guys have heard that on countless occasions. So it is not okay what Krishan Rock did to James Rationale. Again, you've
Hmm.
hardly ever heard anything bad about him in the news.
Yeah.
Anything. But if you watch the news or read entertainment news, it's Blueface and Krishan that are always on the headline. I had to
Hmm.
completely, like I said, mute and literally detox because it's too much taking it all in. And the mom is just as toxic as Blueface. So where
Yeah.
do you think the Blueface learned his behavior from? Where do you think the Krishan learned her behavior from? And I'm not saying that's all of her family, but it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Because Evelyn raised her daughters to be their own individual selves. Tamar has a brother too, but Tony is nothing like Tamar. But it's Tamar that's always been the one that's been like direly homophobic. And we've seen her on Bigo laughing at some of the jokes against us as LGBT people.
Yeah.
And I still to this day do not understand how people support when somebody says something about trans people, like Neo. I used to love Neo's music. I said, unfollow. I gotta let you go. I can't support that no more. It's a bye-bye for me.
Mm-hmm.
You show me one sign of transphobia or homophobia, I'm cutting you off. I'm unfollowing you. Letting you go out of my life. I don't need you. You let me know where you stand right there. And Maya Angelou says this. When a person shows you who they are the first time, what, ladies and gentlemen? Believe them again. And Tamar has showed us who she was countless times, times and times again. So I'm not putting it all on Tamar, but Krishan, you are responsible because you attacked
Mm-hmm.
this. Now, if this man would have put his hands back on you, it would have been completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It is never okay for a woman to put her hands on, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. When you feed toxicity, it grows into lack of accountability and mental abuse
Mm-hmm.
and what's called love bombing. You guys have heard that term, right? Gaslighting, love bombing. They
Mm-hmm.
never take accountability for their actions and what they do. And it's
Yeah.
a manipulation tactic. So, like Manny says, I know that Krishan and Blueface, they feed off of it. They feed off of it. They
Yes.
love it. They,
Yes.
they love it. Every day you turn on YouTube or any urban entertainment news outlet, you see Blueface and Krishan and Zeus Network
Mm-hmm.
in the headline. And I had to completely mute the notifications. Like, oh God, I'm so sick of seeing it. Just too much. And now Tamar resurfaces. I said, for years I've known that she's been direly homophobic. She needs real professional help and not from her audience. But that's the culture now, B Brown. Zeus Network
Mm-hmm.
has created this culture of throwing bottles, unscripted television. I mean, love and hip hop is one thing, but Zeus is on a whole nother level. Now that's TV is on a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying all black people need to be like me because I know people are gonna give me some backlash for this. It sounds like it's respectability. No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that at all. What I'm saying is this is the culture now. This is the culture. Love and hip hop is one thing because I used to watch Love and hip hop, but Zeus has took it up and turned it up way high and said, okay, we're
Way
gonna
too high.
unscripted. And I wonder if there's like a liability clause. Like I've seen some of the clips. Like my God, it's too much. We need to boycott those trash networks and streaming outlets. And I don't know. People consume that. I don't know how they consume it. My God.
You could feel the negativity hit your body and your energy from just watching it.
Baddies. I
Literally.
mean, that's the show she's on, Baddies. Now, as far as Tamar, I've seen it on Braxton Family Values when they
Mm-hmm.
had the mediation with the Yala Van Zant. That didn't turn out. She was very disrespectful to Yala, not willing to comprehend, not willing to listen to what her sisters had to say. Tracy was even trying to explain it to her, like how she made her felt. And
Mm-hmm.
it was the gaslight, not wanting to take accountability. And narcissists, I said this in one of my posts on something I was commenting on. I said narcissists never want to take accountability for anything that they do. That's just like when her and Candy from Escape were going back and forth. She's the type to throw the rock and hide her hand and say, well, you did this to me. And y'all's favorite female rapper does it too. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
call her name. I'm not giving her that attention. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about Cardi and Meg. If you know, you know. If you don't, ask your mama. She'll throw things and she'll hide her hands. I
Mm-hmm.
can't deal with people like that. So Tamar is the same way. She's not an exception. It's spilling over into to real life. People everywhere feel like they can just go off. Right.
Mm. Yeah.
And we've seen Blueface's mom. Like she said, well, she told Meg, and you guys know that I'm a big Meg Thee Stallion fan. I'm a hottie.
Mm-hmm.
And she put a post up saying, well, Meg, get with my son. Why? So she can have another traumatizing experience.
Mm.
You are what you put out there. And what I mean by that is if you raise your children to be toxic, if they've seen toxic things in the household, what
They're
do
gonna
you
be
think is going to happen in
toxic.
their adult years?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Krishan throw bottles and throwing shoes. Like, come on now.
Mm-mm.
There's got to be something deeply there for you to be that violent to people, especially to those who are not causing a threat to you. And James Wright Chanel is one of the least problematic gay black
Yeah.
men that I know, who's confident in himself and very talented, my add. He didn't deserve that. So if it were me, I would definitely take legal action because you're not just going to put your hands on me and not expect something to come back out of that, out of the repercussion. It doesn't work that way. And I'm going to be transparent. For years, because I've never told anybody about this, and I want the world to know,
Mm-hmm.
for years have suffered emotional abuse. And I won't say from which family member, but I've suffered emotional abuse. Being grown growing up with siblings, it does something to you. You're always wanting your parents' favoritism.
Mm.
So that's why I connect so deeply with some of these stories about, DV or, neglect and abandonment and so many things. I think the problem is there is nothing and no one there in the people like Krishan's life. His mother is a sister, wife. Yep, that's correct. That is correct, Darling Yankee. And the thing is, we have to break that stigma, that cycle, that trauma. Trauma bonding is what they call it. It's another thing called trauma bonding, where people connect off of each other's trauma. And
Mm-hmm.
it results in a very disastrous result. It's toxic. It's not going to go anywhere. It's unhealthy. So
Mm.
I don't think the children need to be exposed to that because you would think that motherhood would change certain people, but it hasn't. I was to Krishan for that other. Y'all were going in, and I've seen some of the comments, and y'all were saying yes. Y'all were going in. That's all I'm gonna say. But if I was James, I would go the legal route. That's how I would do it. It's not okay. And let's
Mm.
just talk about homophobia because Bubs the God, um, we have been talking about this deeply because I had him on not too long ago on the show, and I talked about it in the previous episode with Manny about how I felt about what Krishan said, where she said, I had to be the man and the woman. Well, I had to stop being a woman and be more masculine presenting. What about the new divine feminine order, the new divine masculine order? I think it is okay to embrace both sides. It is, you don't just have to tap into that one, but I understand as a single mom, as a single parent, you have to, because there are certain things a mom can't teach a son. They need a
Exactly.
dad in their life. But it's
Yes.
okay being a single parent. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with being a single parent.
Mm-mm.
And yes, sometimes you do have to do that, but all to stop your son from being gay. And I've heard some of the most disgusting comments from some of y'all's faves, and y'all wouldn't believe it, from Kevin Hart, Tracy Morgan, and Carisha
Mm.
from the City Girls, literally saying they would beat their sons if they found out that they were gay. First off,
Mm.
when do you become the gatekeeper of deciding your child's sexuality? What if this is not what they want when they grow up into their teen years and they discover their true self?
Mm.
You're going to be eating your words just like Bootsy is eating his words. His daughter's in the LGBTQ community.
Mm.
So the same community he went out to attack, which he still is attacking, his daughter is now a part of the community. And now he don't want nothing to do with it. Which is what
Mm.
me and Manny just talked about a few minutes ago, if you all are just coming in, which
We
is
did.
people are being shunned and disowned by their families for being gay or being embracing their truth, being trans. You would not believe the LGBTQ, black LGBTQ homeless rate right now. The numbers are astronomical. Either that or they
Mm,
go and they unalive themselves. And we know that rate, the ID rate is going up too.
mhm,
So it is your job for the parents out here that are watching to talk to your children, embrace them, love on them. I was watching, oh, you guys remember the story on Oprah? And I think this was back in 2008. I would have been, I'm telling my age, I would have been in middle school. Of course, I'm 30. But I would have been in middle school when this episode came out, where the mom went in her son's bedroom and she found him in the closet. And I don't want to get into the details, but if you know, you know. She found him in the closet. And that has been from kids bullying him and peer pressure.
mhm,
So, parents, if you are watching tête-à-tête right now, please embrace and love on your child. That is the answer.
mhm.
Not shunning them, disowning them, and pushing them to the side.
Yeah.
Let them find out who they are. Don't tell them, oh, you're going to be straight. You're so you are so set on forcing your child to be straight if that's not what they want to do. Let them decide their own individual selves. Marlon Wayans, kudos to him. Embracing his son, his trans son is amazing. It is amazing.
Mm,
You're starting to see more and more people become accepting of us as trans people. And it is Trans Awareness Week, like Manny said in the beginning of the show. So it's about embracing your own individuality and finding out who you are. When I did my last show with Jonathan, Jonathan asked me, at what age did you discover your individual true self? And my answer is always going to be the same: 13 years old. I would have been middle school, 13, around that time. And coming into my own individual self, I must say this is the most happiest I've ever been, ever. Now that I'm 30, I could care less about people's opinions. I opened up in the beginning about
mhm,
the depression that I've been experiencing this week, but it feels great to be able to vent and get it out. And there are people in the LGBTQ community who go through things mentally from not feeling acceptance from their family or their loved ones.
mhm,
But I'm surprised at some of the responses that I've got from some of my family members from just coming into my own. The love and acceptance. My cousin said I'll always be her baby. Mm.
mhm,
And my mom and everyone. My mom is starting to get pronouns, talking with her about pronouns, educating her, educating my family. It's just like coming out and letting the world know that you're transgender again. And thank you guys all for welcoming me in your homes and on your TV screens or on your phones, because I know you guys can watch IGTV on your TV now, or watch it on your laptop or wherever,
mhm.
me and Manny. But what I say that to say this: let them decide who they want to be or be with. Because at a young age, what did our parents always want us to do? Oh, you got a little girlfriend, you got a little boyfriend. And it's just like, uh, uh this is not really what I want. I want to experiment.
I know.
And a lot of parents will do that. Oh, you gonna bring me some grandkids? You put a lot of pressure on your kids
Yes,
for that. I
yes.
You already know my answer. No. Unless I find a good husband, I don't mind being step parent, stepmom,
Mhm.
or auntie Stevie. I do not mind.
Yeah.
No kids to me. I'm 30, so I got a whole life to live and experiment and explore. And that's what I want to
Mhm.
continue. So when I
Yes.
find the right person, that that'd be something that I'll consider. But as of right now, no.
Mm.
But yes, that puts a lot of pressure on LGBT people at a young age. I gotta get a girlfriend. I gotta make my mom proud. Going to prom, going to homecoming. And if
Yeah.
especially if you're coming out during that time, you couldn't take who you really wanted to take to let the world know publicly to that type of dance or
Hmm.
homecoming or prom. You couldn't. So I know what it's like to come out and have to come out again. It's very uncomfortable to not get acceptance from your family members, from your loved ones. That's the worst kind of pain. And I think
Hmm.
during the holidays or what we call holiday blues, you're gonna people LGBT youth mainly is gonna feel that the worst, not being able to
Mm.
spend it with their family because of being their true selves. That's the worst kind of pain. So we got
I,
a
I, I
lot of work.
really,
Go
I
ahead.
really hear this every time I go to a dinner or something. They're like, "Manny, you got your girlfriend? Where your girlfriend?" I'm like, "I don't have a girlfriend. I don't want a girlfriend." You know, So I could definitely. That's why I was laughing because I could really relate to that, and I've experienced that so many times where it's just like you having a baby. You know what I'm saying? All your other
Right,
friends and got married and got
sure. See,
kids, and it's like I'm not ready for that. It's been a close moment. I've been almost married to a guy. So for me, it's like, I'm not at that full commitment yet to actually, make that happen. But I might just be on the opposite side when it comes to that. And I understand my parents and grandparents, they want to see you had kids and raise the grandkids, but sometimes it's not meant to be that way, and I go through that. I definitely connect and have a understanding when it comes to that. So I just want to put my little 2 cents with that.
and I think a lot of LGBT people, youth mainly, coming into their own, and or especially coming out at a young age, they've experienced that where their parents are just like, "You got a
Mhm.
girlfriend? When you gonna bring your girlfriend to dinner?" And they'll want to meet the girl or whatever, and it's be like,
Yeah.
it's not a girl if that's what you think, or it's not a guy if that's what you think. In some
Yeah.
cases, your mind starts to wonder how they would react to it.
Hmm.
So definitely, for me, my mom questioned me. She said, "You like da 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 da," and I told her exactly because moms instantly know.
Yeah.
So I love men. I've always been attracted to men my entire life. So yes, but for that, at that point in my life, I was starting to pick up the pieces and build my foundation for
Hmm.
coming into my own. And I would not be the Miss Stevie that's here before you guys today if it wasn't for that time period when me and my mom had that discussion.
Yeah.
So she said, as long as you're happy, it's all that matters. And that's
Hmm.
how it should be. Parents out here supporting their children and not shunning them or disowning them or saying, oh, well, I had to be tough because I don't want my kid being soft. Krishan, yeah, that was your response. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. I understand being a single mom and having to raise a son by yourself. Yes, but that wasn't needed at all. If what is wrong? What is so wrong with black men embracing their soft side or being more feminine? Or you want them slapping you upside the head? I bet you that'll ruffle y'all's feathers. Or you want them calling you out of your name, degrading you, or just trying to get into your pants? Which would you prefer? Because that's toxic masculinity, believe it or not. And that's exactly what you and the father of your son are presenting. When he put those strippers in front of your son, and you went out here, you made that comment saying, I had to be the man and the. Listen, embrace who you are, LGBT people. Please do not let anybody force you into a closet and tell
Hmm.
you you need to tone down because LGBT people for years we have been told we need to assimilate. We need to tone it down. Don't do the most. You need to tone it down. No, no. For you? Hell no. And to my biological sisters out here, again, for trans women, we don't want to take away your rights. The legislative is already doing that. Has already done that. Because the first thing y'all will go to, y'all will say openly gay black men who are feminine. They want to be you. Well, you could never be me. You could never have a child. You could never have a uterus. You could never. Listen, sis, I do not want to have children. I don't. I got a whole life to live.
Mhm.
At 30 years old, no. I got to settle down and find a husband first.
Yeah.
No, heck no. Did you? Yes, I did see that video where they gave the 12-year-old boy a birthday party. Uh, uh, and Bubs talked about this on his channel. They hired a stripper for his birthday.
Mhm.
Y'all are. We need to talk about the hyper-actualization of young black boys, young black boys, black and brown boys. We need to talk about that seriously.
Mhm.
You got Carisha, Young Miami's son, backstage at Rolling Loud making it rain on one of the strippers. Bootsy hired a prostitute to. We, we still haven't talked about that. Y'all point out everything else LGBT people are supposed to do, but y'all don't call out some of y'all's faves.
Mhm.
Hello? Can we talk about it, please? Y'all
Mhm.
point out everything LGBT people are supposed to do. Tone it down. Don't do the most. Don't be yourself. Again, and I said this on episode 4, LGBT people, we don't need to be away from your kids. If kids need protection from anything, it is you for forcing your toxic masculinity onto them.
Mhm.
Because Lord knows for sure as hell, they going to grow up into their adult years. And what's going to happen is that same cycle that you completed in front of that child is going to be like repeating history over and over again.
Mhm.
Shay Shay 48, thank you. You always look gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. Um, the topic today we are talking about the second topic, which is Blueface, not Blueface, Krishan Rock attacked James Wright Chanel at Tamar Braxton's concert, and Tamar just came out and confirmed that. The
Mhm.
story's everywhere, and how I found out about it first was T.S. Madison's platform. And I'm just like, why? Why are we putting our hands on people, especially if they are not a threat to us or doing anything to us?
Mhm.
But again, Krishan and Blueface are going to continue to stay in the news. We have a lot of work to do within the Black community. We have a lot of work to do within the Black community. And it starts with having conversations like these.
Mhm.
What is your issue? Why do you suffer from internalized homophobia or transphobia? Or why do you feel the need that you have to protect your kids away from LGBT people when all we're doing is trying to exist? We're not trying to take away anything from you. We're just going to Starbucks to get a cup of coffee, or could be going to our job or whatever. We're not even in the room, and y'all tend to bring us into every conversation.
Mhm.
Charleston White, I hope you're paying attention because you went on DJ Vlad, and of course you started going at Saucy Santana.
Mhm.
It's like this
Mhm.
year I must say has been the most worst year for us as LGBT people, as LGBT Black people of color. It has been one of the most dangerous years ever, 2020.
Mhm. Yeah. The hate crime for the LGBTQ community is up 19% from 2022. which is showing that every day there's more and more people thinking to attack another person of their sexuality than we've ever experienced, since this has all began. And to sit there and see that, it's like, okay, what do we do? Do we enforce, better policing? Do we enforce more security for events? Do we have, sit there and have, more people, just be like some type of, security or something when it comes to, people being around? I don't know what that will be. But at this point, seeing a 19% rise and the year before was like a 15% rise, it just showing that it's like we're being looked at as hated type of people, and we're just as normal as anybody else that walks around on this planet. So it's really just disheartening to see that, and it just we need to something needs to be done. But it's just what's the answer? Yeah.
Let me read Shay Shay's comment. She says that because some of the people are acting like it is a lot of time they have issues and try to project. Yes, they do. And this is what they do. They'll say, this is what they do. They'll say, well, what about the children? They'll bring the children. They'll use the children as a scapegoat
Mm-hmm.
to cover up the homophobia. That's what they'll do. Just come out and say I'm homophobic or transphobic. Just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Just say you don't like my existence. My existence is a problem to you. Just say that. You don't like me, and I won't come around. Because again, Nina Simone said it best. I get up from the table when love is no longer being served. I'm not going to sit where I'm not welcome. So that means if my existence, my transness, me embracing my womanhood and being
Mm-hmm.
a trans black woman and being open and confident with who I am is a problem for you, then baby, that's on you. That's not on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
You're the problem and you need to deal with it. And a lot of people do not want to be called homophobic or transphobic because they know it's going to, especially if you're in an entertainment business, it's going to affect your back. They don't want it to affect their back. You can be anything else in the world, but I can't be homophobic or transphobic. How do I know? I'm not scared of LGBT people.
Mm-hmm.
Phobia means fear. You are. You
Mm-hmm.
are. You don't like our existence. You don't like us being in the same spaces as you. You don't want us to have opportunity. You don't want us to be able to get in some of the spaces that you're getting in as well too, and have our success and just shine and be great. And I think it's the most worst from some biological black women. It's the worst from them because they feel like either trans women or LGBT, feminine LGBT queer men are coming to take their position. And that's just like, they're threatened by it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth. And y'all know it is. They'll sit up there and say, well, you want to be me? I don't want my man's. And then the thing that really gets me is, you know that your man is homophobic and has said some messed up stuff, and y'all don't check it in real time. And to some of the
Mm-hmm.
gays out here that have friends like that, that's not your friend. That's why, Miss Stevie, I am in a lane all by myself. I am literally the black sheep of this industry, y'all. I
Mm-hmm.
have very few and just a few select friends or people who I call colleagues. I've grown to know Manny, so I consider him a friend. People like Bubs the God, a friend. K-Tubes, Alan Yankee, V-Bon actor singer. So many of my guests that I've interviewed on the show, I've grown to know them and have this amazing rapport with them. That's why I'm very selective with who I let into my circle. And again, if this person is sitting there while their boyfriend is being homophobic or transphobic and disrespecting your friend to their face and you're not
Mm.
checking it, that's not someone you should be around.
Exactly.
That's not a friend. might want to reconsider who your friends are and who they really are. Because at the end of the day, they're going to show you better than they can tell you that they are not going to be marching beside you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the God honest truth. Fall out with them and watch they call you every F word, every T word, everything in the book. They're going to show you who they truly are. So that's my thoughts on that with Blueface and Krishan. Well, Krishan putting her hands on James. Um, I'd like to see what is going to happen next now that this has happened, because
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be some accountability for it, which we know she's probably not going to take it. James came out and gave a very eloquent statement. James, you better than me, my love. I feel like a lot of women are homophobic because of their boyfriend or baby daddy be closeted, and them be the main ones sliding up in DMs at night.
Mm-hmm.
WYD, HMU. If you know, you know. Right
Mm-hmm.
up in the DMs at 2 and 3 in the morning. So we don't want your man. Your man be looking at us. And I make it even better. He's not your man. He's community man. He's everybody man. He my man too. How about that? Because a lot of biological women feel threatened that we're trying to take that away from them. And it's just like, no,
No.
we're not.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to take femininity. You don't own femininity or masculinity or your man. If your man is out here looking at other people, he wasn't really your man to begin with if he's out here looking at other people. I remember a tragic case of Brianna Gray, who was who was unalive, absolutely heartbreaking, yes. And the case with Malaysia Booker that happened in Texas, there's been something that came up and there was an update. So they caught the person who did this to this woman. She deserves to be here. Malaysia Booker deserved to be here. Yeah. Years later. So we have
Mm-hmm.
a long way to go with bridging the gap within the Black community. We have so many things to fix: colorism, misogynoir, texturism, featureism, uh, anti-Blackness towards our own people. We have a lot
Mm-hmm.
to fix.
Yeah.
And it starts with conversations like this. It starts with conversations like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would I go on a platform like ABBA and preach or anything like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely. As a trans Black woman, I wouldn't go in those type of spaces. I just would not. So that's what I have to say in regards to the situation that happened at the Tamar Braxton concert with James Ratchnell. Again, I I hate that he had to go through that. That happened to him. Just keep your hands to yourself. Period. If nobody's touching you, don't put your hands on them. Keep everybody just keep your hands to yourself.
Be nice. Yeah.
Especially again if the person is not a threat to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say on that. Um,
Mm.
Other than that, in today's news, I'm in IGL. I can't comment or anything, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys try to comment on the post, I'll be able to like your post. I still can like and things like that, but I can't comment. Sorry, all my typos. There are too many of these tragic M's. Folks need to get educated. It's sad. You should be able to go into any space you want. Right. And what's so sad is LGBT people, whenever we go into these spaces, like I told Bubs this, the barbershop. For queer Black men, I know what it's like having that experience of going into the barbershop. It's uncomfortable because you already know the conversations that these Black straight men have in barbershops
Mm-hmm.
or locker rooms. But I tell
Mm-hmm.
you what. damn thing. I'm glad I went to beauty school. I know how to lay my wigs, honey. So and and beat this face and do these nails. Fun fact, I do my own makeup, my own hair, but I have my own beauty contributor, Melanie, who gets me right every episode. So
Mm,
that's the good thing about it. But that's been a problem within the queer community is being able to go into spaces like the barbershop or wherever, and you feel absolutely out of place. Been there
yeah.
before. Thank God I don't have to do it no more, and that I'm skilled giftfully to be able to do hair, to be able to do makeup, to be able to style outfits, all of these things that I've been wanting to do since I
Mm,
was little, that I now have the God given talent to do. And I don't have to worry about sitting in a salon. Well, hello. I do like being pampered. Don't get me wrong. I do like being pampered. Now I can go to the hair salons and get my hair done and things like that. I love that. But
mhm.
now that I can do it on my own, I don't have to worry about going to it to
Yeah.
do it. But being able to sit in those spaces is very uncomfortable for queer people, for LGBT people in our community
And
to sit in these spaces because we already know, uh-oh, I'm about to be the target of the conversation. And it's just
mhm.
like we can't catch a break. And we're tired. We're fed up. You know, I've been beat on enough this year in 2023.
Yeah.
LGBT people are tired. The hate
Yeah.
crimes have risen in this year alone, as Manny mentioned.
Yeah.
We got work to do within the Black community. And it starts by educating, bringing awareness, educating on pronouns.
Mhm.
We're now in a time where people just like, oh, y'all so sensitive. No, don't say dumb shit and you won't have to worry about getting canceled or your bag snatched.
Mhm.
Why is it called LGBTQ community when the community doesn't even like it? The gay people are the most homophobic and transphobic. Yeah, to our own. And it's
Oh
disgusting
yeah.
because I see clips
There you
like
go.
this on Bigo.
Oh wait. There you go. Oh, you got it.
I see clips like
Okay.
this on Bigo. And we're at each other. We're going at each other. Many of the blanks are jealous because they are not living their truth. Right. Yeah. And the thing is, that's they're suffering from their own internalized hatred. I don't like this person because they are living and they are walking in their truth. So I'm going to
Mm,
take my frustrations out on this person. And that's not right at all. Nobody should ever have to go through that, through live it for walking and breathing and being their truth.
mm,
Why is my existence a problem to you? It's not. And it shouldn't
mm,
be. I'm happy. So you should be happy with who you are. If not,
mm,
then you have to sit down and think and internalize, okay, what do I need to do to make myself happy? And it is not tearing down the next person just to make yourself feel good and so up and above.
mm,
It is not. So we have a lot of work to do. There are so many books out here. There are so many resources. There are so many platforms that can educate you. Tête-à-tête, our platform, is one of those that can educate you on transphobia, on accepting your child within the LGBTQ
mm,
learning about pronouns, learning about we talked about fat phobia on my birthday episode, which is something
mm,
that I want to touch on because as I knew as soon as Lizzo dressed up as Tina Turner that people were going to have a problem, and that is the thing. We don't like our own kind, but
mm,
think about our ancestors who were literally out there breaking their backs, sold to the highest bidder, shackled and taken away from their families.
mm,
And y'all get out here and y'all want to start beating each other within our own community up because you don't like the way the person looks
mm,
or you don't like their body image. It's internalized fat phobia and it's internalized anti-blackness. That's what it is. And until we deal with that, We are going to be stuck reliving that other 400 years again in 2023. I need Black people to wake up literally and listen to my voice. We got to do better. We got to. And it starts by educating. They are literally trying to erase our history. Now, we know that Black people, we built this, period. We built this. And if you go in Florida, what do y'all
I'm gonna tell
think
you.
they're trying to do in the schools? What do you
Hmm.
think they're trying to take away out of the schools and not teach anymore?
Hmm.
What do y'all think that they're not trying to teach anymore in schools? They're trying to erase our history, Black history. They're trying to erase it. Then what? It's important that we educate our own and teach our own. And we cannot forget about the likes who are also into these movements that have built it so that LGBT people could have rights. James Baldwin,
Exactly.
Marsha P. Johnson,
Hmm.
and there's a plethora of them, of Black LGBT activists who have paved the way so that everybody, straight and gay, can have a place in this world and succeed and do something. And I'm pretty sure if they were here, they would be disappointed looking at our community right now the way it is.
Hmm.
We must tackle toxic masculinity. It needs to be fixed. It really needs to be fixed. Because if not, it's just going to continue that ugly cycle is just going to continue.
Yeah.
And it starts by having these conversations and bringing awareness to whatever it is.
Mm.
So that's all I've got. I'm gonna get off of my soapbox. Manny, your thoughts?
Um, well, I could definitely add to that. Not only to go through that experience myself, but to also see many other peers of mine go through that same traumatizing situation that can leave a imprint on you for the rest of your life and have you thinking, this way or that way, and just feel like, what's going on? Like, why is this even happening? Why is this happening to me, or why is this happening to us? As not just as a group of people, but as a community where we've done nothing but do nothing but make people feel better, if not happier, to be themselves, and instead we're being treated as if we're this type of group that just come to harm and cause confusion and cause this I don't want to say too much, but just to cause this nastiness of whatever people are thinking, when it's like all we're doing is be ourselves. All I've been is done nothing but be myself, and my father and other people still cannot accept that. And it's still to this point, it's like, even after all this time of laws and regulations and this and that, we're still dealing with some of the worst things you could possibly think of, even though we've had these guidelines and barriers set up. Um, and it's hurting, it just really hurts to see that. Um, and to like really just, I don't know. For me, I just think that if we can really get to a full understanding, because I feel like it's still some misunderstanding and some misguiding going on, and if them things can be more regulated to the point, more people will be more understood, as far as not just being bi or trans or gay or lesbian, but just the whole point of a sexuality itself, people need to understand that it's not something that, you know, I just chose to do one day and now all of a sudden this is what I want to do. This is something that I feel is in me to be. And if you want to allow me to be myself or be who I want to be, just like I'm allowing you to be straight, you to be a straight woman, you to be a straight man, you be, if I'm allowing that to be as plausible as if I am myself, then there should be no need for anybody to come and I want to use the right words, but to come at I can't even say to just just take me out, and it's like, for that to be like that, that's something that needs to be changed in the mental mind of a lot of people. And I tell people, we're born in a world where when you're born into this world, you have no common sense. The only thing you know is right from wrong without anybody telling you. So for us to even go this far, this deep into human to this human life, and to come into a point we have categories to separate and divide ourselves into different humans when we're all just one human being at itself, it's something that's just going around that just needs to be taken care of. And that could start either on a spiritual level or just a closed-minded, open-minded level where a person's brain is just needs to be a little bit adjusted. Now, just like we can train ourselves to learn something, we can untrain ourselves to learn that same thing. And people need to unlearn that negative, that hatred, that animosity, then that guilt or whatever that is that was built on the back of all this LGBTQness, to the point where that will no longer be. And we can have peace that we've been asking for and begging for and looking for from just about everybody because we've done nothing wrong. And instead, we've been the ones looking as the victim or the people that's causing the problems or the people that's making children act a certain way or be a certain way. And it's just not the case, So it's just, I don't know. We gonna continue to do what we gotta do to make this happen and make it work and make it better until people realize, like, okay, we've been pointing our fingers at the wrong people. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it starts by having these conversations, talking about it, and not just shunning the next person for being who they are.
Yeah.
Authenticity and embracing your individuality is key. So
Hmm.
let people be happy and confident in their own skin. It shouldn't matter to you because you're not that person. You haven't walked in that person's shoes.
Hmm.
So let everyone be their own individual self. Period. It shouldn't be a problem. And it's not
Hmm.
a crime for someone to be who they are. I would rather live in the truth than live a lie. Because then if you live in a lie, then you got to tell another lie to cover that lie up. You got to tell another lie to
Hmm.
cover that lie up. I would just rather be out in the open about it and just be happy. And my happiness is what matters the most. So I'm not gonna sit here and live in a lie. I'd rather live in the truth.
Hmm.
So so the parents out there that are watching, if you have queer children in the LGBTQ plus community, love on them and embrace them. It's time.
Yeah.
And again, and I'm gonna say this again, be careful who you call your friends. Because if they're not fighting for you, if they're not walking beside you and windmilling out here with you, they're not your friend.
Hmm.
You'd go hard for them all the way, and I'm telling you, they won't return the favor and go back for you. Those are not your friends. Reevaluate and really, really think about it. Like, is this person really my friend? For them to just sit there and let this person offend me and say something mean and horrible to me, think about it.
Hmm.
That's not your friend. So that's all I have to say on that. I think we just about covered it all. We don't have a main show today,
Yeah.
you guys, but tomorrow at 3, I know I said 4 tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be out of IG jail by then. because it says the 15th. So I'll be out tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 15th.
Okay.
Tony Jones will be joining me at 3. So it's been a very short week. I know you guys have been expecting more interviews and shows. My apologies. You guys know that the writer's strike is over. They have reached an agreement. Thank you, God. So things are settled. But again, it's been a very slow week here on the show. But
Mhm.
hopefully, we should have some guests coming on. Hopefully, I think I have Kevin J. Stone joining me next week. And of
Mhm.
course, the next week after another episode of Tete a Tete, which will be our 8th episode, you guys. So
Yes.
I'm excited to be
Yes.
my day to open. I don't know what we're going to be discussing, but stay tuned. We have more interviews coming soon. So I'm going to go on a little hiatus for this week and then
Mhm.
one interview one next week. And then that little hiatus, relax, take that break. And you guys can go and check out some of the interviews that I've been doing throughout the week on my channel, my YouTube channel. So make sure you guys head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie. This episode of Tete a Tete, episode
Mhm.
7, will be uploaded there today. So make sure you guys go and check that out.
Yes.
And make sure that you're following both of us here. Manny, you've mentioned new music in the beginning of the interview. So for
Yes.
those, before we wrap up, what are we expecting? Because the year is halfway out. Before you know it,
Hmm.
December, January
It will
2020.
be. Just definitely be expecting. I am working on a few singles and, like I said earlier, EP. Um, I had to kind of retract from last month, just due to like stuff that's just going on. But I'm definitely going to be dropping about 2 to 3 singles and a whole EP before the end of this year is over with. I don't really want to put no dates out now because I want to just make sure I can just get it out there. So just be looking ahead for that. That'd be look up Manny Killer, MANNYKILLA on all platforms, and you'll find my music there.
All right, fashion dolls. And that concludes Tete a Tete for today. Make
Mhm.
sure you guys are keeping warm. The weather has officially gotten cooler. I think it's going to be getting colder. There's a lot of storms coming. So make sure you guys are being safe out here. I know
Mhm.
Thanksgiving holidays, well, Thanksgiving will be here before you know it. So make sure you guys are staying cool, enjoying your family, loving on each other. And again, acceptance and education is key. So it starts at home.
Yes.
Remember that,
Mhm.
fashion doms. We love you all, and we will see you on the next episode of Tete a Tete the next following Tuesday, which will be episode 8, my day to open. So make sure you
Yes.
guys tune in. All right, fashion dolls. Take care, everyone. Hmm.